Hello everybody, my name is Beck. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be going through my October TBR list and hopefuls. If you watched my last month's video, there might be some repeats potential. And then we're going to go through the Kindle sneak peek. I'm already reading this one, so hopefully we can finish it this month. So the very first book that I would like to finish and read, and look at the size of it, it's really tiny and cute. I got this for $3 on clearance. It was originally like $6 Australian dollars. It's Galatia, a short story by Madeline Miller. If you are familiar with Madeline Miller, she has written The Song of Achilles and, spoiler alert, Cersei. I accidentally pronounced this as Cirque in one of my videos. I know it's Cersei. It slipped my brain. The reason why I wanted to read these two books is because this one I just stumbled upon by chance, and since I was planning on reading this book this month, I might as well just like combine these two. I did consider putting The Songs of Achilles into this pile, but I think that's a little bit too much. Before I go on a tangent, let's talk a little bit about this one. The reason why I chose this book is because it's tiny and it seems like it'll be really fast paced and straight to the point, because I'm kind of in a reading slump, and that's why I didn't finish half of my TBR from last month. I'm also a mood reader, so I just went off a tangent and started like reading random stuff that I found on the internet rather than the books that I have in front of me. Galatia, a short story, is about in ancient Greece, a skilled marble sculptor has been blessed by a goddess who has given his masterpiece the most beautiful woman in the town has ever seen, the gift of life. Now his wife, he expects Galatia to please him, to be obedience and humility personified, but she has a desire of her own and yearns for independence. In a desperate bid of her obsessive husband to keep her under control, she is locked away under the constant supervisions of doctors, nurses, but with a daughter to rescue, Galatia is determined to break free, whatever the cost. The premises of the story seems really straightforward. It seems really interesting. I would like to see where it ends. I have a suspicion that I have read something similar to this before, because I have studied like Greek mythology at one point in my life. I have retained maybe like 20% of the information that I've learned. So we have that. Next, the reason why I wanted to read Cersei is because I have an audiobook loan due in 2 days and I will push myself to read it. I don't have the audiobook loan for The Song of Achilles. I don't think my local library has it. This one is about the gods of suns and the mightiest of titans. A daughter is born. Cersei is strange, not powerful and terrible like her father, nor gorgeous and mercenary like her mother. Cersei's tale is a vivid epic of family rivalry, love, loss, and indistinguishable songs of women burning hot and bright in the darkness of a man's world. I think this is sapphic from memory. Yeah, I'm going to say it is, and I'm excited to read this. I've read a lot of reviews in regards to Cersei and Song of Achilles. You either really love both of these books or you hate them, or you like one or the other. There's like no like in between. I feel like whenever I read or watch other people review this book, I don't know why this was swept under the radar for me, so I don't really have high expectations for this. I'm hoping I end up loving it. I haven't read a single Madeline Miller book yet, but I've heard like really good things about her books, and I'm hoping that I'll enjoy all her books because I did buy them all, so let's hope so. My Song of Achilles is somewhere in the pile. I will have to go and dig through it, but I have it, but I won't be reading it this month. So I have these two. Let me explain. Don't come for me. I did read the first book, and that's why the second and the third book is in this month's pile as well. I did plan on finishing the whole entire series last month, and that was like kind of wishful thinking. So I have the Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The first book was The Inheritance Game, and like the title suggests, The Inheritance Game is about this rich, eccentric old man passing away and leaving his fortunes to a random person. But she's not like associated with the family, but it's kind of implied in the first book that she might be. There's a lot of like secrets. And I just recently saw yesterday, I think, the author posting about a potential fourth book. I don't know if it's like a fourth book of the series or if it's a novella. I actually didn't look right into it because I'm trying not to get spoiled because I haven't read these two yet. The first book, I was iffy about it. I like the premises of the story, but the execution was not it for me. Maybe because it was so overhyped for me and I had such high expectations for it. Again, please don't come for me. This is my personal opinion, and I just couldn't bring myself to read the second and third book, but I will eventually because I have them here and I would like to see how it ends. If you have read this series, does it get better for you? because the first book was just an okay average read for me. I did listen to the audiobook because I have the library loan for it, but if you'd like to see a wrap-up video, I don't know if I'm gonna actually film it because as you can probably tell, I ramble a lot and I don't get to the point. Okay, since we're on a repeat tangent, this one has been on my TBR pile for the past couple of months. I have not progressed since chapter 5. It's The Roommate by Rosie Danan. Hopefully I'll read it this month. I'll just put it in the pile for the sake of it, but if it reappears again, don't hold me accountable. I'd just like to say that I've repeated this sentence at least 6 times at this point, but I have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. I feel like this book is always associated with 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, at least to me. Whenever I see like TikTok recommendations, I feel like everybody just like places these two books together, and I don't know if it was like published at the same time, but I always for some reason associate it then, but the copyright is on 2022. This is traditionally published in Australia and I was selling it for $12 at Big W, and I ran and got it. Do I know the premises of this story? No. Did I just grab it because I seen a lot of people loving this book? And then I read the first page and I realized, oh, it's like a good girl, bad boy situation. I read like 3 pages and I don't know if I will actually end up finishing it. Here's a hopeful. I said I will start on 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole last time in my last video, and I was really excited when I got it because it's been on my TBR list for like a while, from a couple of years ago when I stopped reading. Don't know too much about it. All I know is like a lot of people have recommended this, so let's freaking move on. Okay, the next book is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Here's the thing. Okay, in my previous couple of videos, I have mentioned that I am not biggest Tessa Bailey fan in terms of her books. Her as a person, I follow her on TikTok and on Instagram. I think she's funny. She seems like a really decent person overall, and I love watching her TikToks, her social media stuff. But her books, at least the first 3 in, is it The Tools of Engagement or something? What is it? I'll go look it up quickly. Okay, in her Hot and Hammer series, I read all 3 of them because they were available at my local library, which I'm truly happy and blessed about, because indie books, especially American indie books, can be really expensive, so I'm just happy I got to read it for free. The first 2 I was iffy about. The third one I liked the most, surprisingly. For me, she's an average read, like a 3-star read. Okay, I also own a couple of her books. I have Hook, Line and Sinker. I also have It Happened One Summer, the Kindle version, because she does a lot of sales. And I also have Window Shopping, but those 3 that I mentioned I haven't read yet. It's downloaded on my Kindle, and one of these days I'll go and read it, and hopefully I'll come to enjoy it, but that has nothing to do with it because I'm not going to include it in the TBR for this month. But anyway, back to this one. See, I really wanted to read this because A is about treasure hunting, murder mystery solving, and this cover alone went through like several changes. There was like a little bit of drama behind this book in particular, but hey, I'm glad I waited because this was originally like $25 off Amazon and 20 something, $22.50 I think at Dimmix, and I'm glad I waited because it's now $12 at Kmart. I'm not sure if it's gonna come out in Big W or Target, but Kmart is the only place that's selling it for $12. So if you want a traditionally published copy in Australia for that price, Kmart is your answer. You can buy it online. Not sponsored, I'm just saying. Okay, I do have beef with this one. Let's sidetrack and go back to this one. The text for this one is smaller than usual. I'm used to smaller fonts because books in Australia and the UK editions of books tend to have smaller fonts, and the books tend to be a bit smaller to save some costs and whatnot. But there is times when the font size is too small. I have really bad eyesight, so maybe that's on me, but I'm short-sighted, so it shouldn't affect me that much. It's just like I lose motivation reading it because I'm so used to the Kindle where I can like enlarge the size and I don't have to worry about like getting cramps holding a book. But anyway, that is besides the point. Let's move on. I am hopeful for this one. This one's like a floppy book for those of you who are wondering. The last book on my physical TBR is this one. I'm scared to read this. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Okay, the only other book I've ever read from Coho is Verity, and I have mixed feelings about it. It was okay, but I'm going to loan this book to my friend Sarah. If you're ever watching this is the book that I was talking about, and I kind of want her input about the ending. If you've read this, let me know how you feel towards the ending. The reason why I want to read this book is because I have a library loan due this month. I waited like I think 16 weeks for my turn for the audiobook, so I will read it. I got this during the height of the pandemic, if I'm remembering correctly, because I bought it on Amazon on a whim, like at least 2 years ago. I didn't even know like the premises of the story when I got it. I just heard it was good and it was popular, it was trending on the page, and that's why I grabbed it. Now that I know a little bit more about the history behind the stories, the authors and whatnot, I wouldn't have picked it up if I had known, because this book talks about domestic violence. If you've been on any social media platform, especially like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you've seen this book before. I was under the impression that I was picking up just a romance book. I feel like I know a good chunk of this story without reading it because of social media, but I will just sit down and read it for myself. I've sat here for like a good 2 minutes because this is like a very delicate kind of topic. I don't know if I will continue to read Coho. I will give this a go since I have a library loan due like in a couple of days, along with Cersei. So those two are my top priority because I have to like return the audiobook. Please don't come for me. I've just read some questionable quotes, and as an Asian person reading those quotes, it made me feel some type of way, and I don't really support that kind of behavior. You can read whatever you want to read, but personally for me, if I am conscious of something that is not right to me personally, there's so much books out there that I could read. Okay, so here are my physical TBRs. Fingers crossed I will actually end up reading more than one book from the pile. I'm not saying did I just read one book from last month's pile? I don't know. Let's move on. And finally, on the Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. So I'm currently reading Forbidden Attraction, a small town shifter romance, Ravenfall's Curse by R. O'Leary. So the premises of the story so far, I've read like 70% of it, and there's a lot happening at the moment. I don't know why it's taking me like so long to finish this book, because usually I would devour a book like maybe like 2-3 hours, give or take. It says the typical reading time for this is 4 hours and 30 minutes. Oh wow, there's like 9 books in total, and there is like novellas for the prequel. I did not know that. This book was recommended to me on TikTok once again, I think by the author herself. I'm currently on a paranormal kick. So the story is between a veterinarian assistant. She just recently moved from New York to like a small town. I don't remember American places, so sorry in advance, I don't remember exactly. Basically, she moved from like a city to a small town. So she's tending this dog. She takes him home because he kept whining in the clinic, and a couple of days later he shifts back into like a human form, and she's like, holy smokes. And then he kidnaps her and takes her back to his den, his pack, and they go on this like murder mystery solving situation. I read like 70%, like I said, and it's taking me like a couple of days to finish it. Usually I would have been done by now. Like I said, I tend to take like 2 to 3 hours to finish a book, but this one's been taking me a couple of days, and I did not know there were so many books in the series. But I will be finishing the first book because I do have a lot of books that I have to read. Okay, onto the ARCs, aka advanced readers copies that I got from NetGalley. I did not request any books from other places. Here are the ARCs. The first one I got is Chasing Your Tail by Kat Murray. The second is The Lonely Hearts Rescue by Morgan Lee Miller. The third one is The Laws of Magic by M. L. Rich. And the fourth one is Hex Appeal by Kate Johnson. I'm pretty sure one of them came out in the 1st of October, but the rest of them will come out between the 11th to the 14th. So by the time you're watching this, it probably would have been out. I'm trying my best to go through the shifter romance first because I'm 70% in. I've been repeating that so many times, but anyway, it's true. I want to write my review before the other 3 comes out in October because I feel really bad. I think The Lonely Hearts Rescue is 3 short stories compiled into one book, and I started reading the first short story and it's pretty decent. It has like a lot of representation. It's really cute. And they're all like animal or witch themed, which I absolutely freaking love, and that's why I chose these books, because October, witchy vibes, cats, dogs, rescue is very cute, and romance. But anyway, I think that is it for the month of October. Fingers crossed that I'll end up reading something from the list. So far, the only book that I can see myself finishing is the shifter romance that I've been talking about, and the library loans that I have, because I have to finish them or else I have to return them or get a fine at this point. Hopefully this video will only end up being like 15 minutes or less because I've been filming for 40 minutes. I just sit and stare and try to think of something. Okay, I'm gonna try my best to film a wrap-up video now. If I end up doing that, you will see it after this video. If not, I didn't say anything. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you have any recommendations or anything you'd like to say to me. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. Hit the bell for the notifications. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!